Well, we made it to another week of the Fireside Tales with Indigo. We are going through the Tales of the Yawning Portal series. We are just about to, I think, wrap up the first adventure, the Sunless Citadel. It has been quite a romp getting up to this point, and we, as I said, are very near the end of it. They have been battling giant rats and skeletons and goblins and kobolds and all sorts of creatures to get to this point. The point being the final encounter with this outcast druid was cast out of the druidic orders for practicing aberrant nature magic, and apparently it is his time for an accounting, because this party has come and they have made a goal of ending this mad druid schemes, and we will see how able they are with that task. So getting right into it, at the end of the last adventure, they had fought through a huge horde of twig blights, which are tree-like, bush-like creatures that were created by the evil druid and the Golthias tree, which is a whole other story in itself. This tree was created from a spike that was driven through the heart of a vampire. The wooden part of this spike ended up rooting and becoming this twisted tree, this aberrant tree of nature. Yeah, there's a lot more going on there, as everyone shall soon find out. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Sorry we're starting a little bit late tonight, but as a good story goes, sometimes you gotta wait for a good ending. So you go ahead and drag everybody over and let's get after this thing.
We are bone, we are bone.
This is gonna be fun.
Help us, Alardro Mututini. Your only hope.
This is gonna be fun, guys.
I can't see anything.
Let's do one of these.
It's kind of hard to find everybody on here, but I found one.
I found myself.
Okay.
I love that shift ping.
That shift ping should have gotten everybody there.
I found us.
Alright, so you guys were just attacked by what looked like a female wizard, a human female that raised up a wand and seemed to speak some sort of a magic incantation, and suddenly the ground erupted around Brasnic Grindstone as vines and tendrils came out of the earth, growing at a tremendous rate, wrapping around the dwarf's legs and his torso, and reaching up and trying to pull him to the earth, and being quite successful in the attempt. At the moment, Brasnic is restrained by these grasping vines. And that's kind of where we are going to pick right up tonight. And as these vines are wrapping around you, Brasnic, the rest of the party, you suddenly, hear this voice kind of ring out. Ha! Everybody stop where you are now, or he dies. How many have come to test me? So, I think Brasnic is still the only one that can see this druid at this point. But you guys can all hear the voice ring out.
Oh, Oh. Oh.
I mean, our tool should be able to see him.
Can you see him?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And so he kind of is studying you for a second. And he kind of almost sniffs the air as he kind of closes his eyes for a moment. And he kind of opens them and looks back up. He says, "You have found my corpse flower mushroom. I can sense their spores upon you. A beautiful creation, is it not? Have you tried one? They're quite delicious. Have a taste. Join my minions in servitude." And you see Brasnic, as you're kind of struggling against these vines, you can kind of see his whole body kind of shakes with each one of these coughs as he's talking. And you can tell that he seems to be struggling with some sort of almost like a terminal infection. It almost seems to be. He kind of pauses for a moment, catches his breath, and he slowly, with a wheezing intake of breath, you see him kind of looks at you. He says, "Come forward. Come forward into the light." Any of you move?
Oh, are we not following the initiative order that was on the screen?
The initiative is going to be there, and as soon as we jump back into combat, we are going to follow that. It's just kind of
We are just currently in monologue phase.
You know, I mean, everyone's seen The Incredibles. Bad guys got a monologue.
Hey, Ratul, how do you want to do this?
Is there light near him, or is there no light?
There are the fungus does seem to be growing all around this vast cavern that you guys are in, and there actually does seem to be a lot of it growing on this tree around the walls and floor of this open kind of courtyard area that these three are standing in.
I can't see nothing from where I'm at.
And either.
Way in the back.
I mean, I can just see Brasnic getting tangled by lines. Ratul and Yin Yang.
The Druid is far ahead, but there are two others with him. I think they're the other adventurer.
Yeah, and this is why I was trying to do that the light thing earlier. That went horribly wrong, though, guys. Let me try this one more time. I promise there won't be any deleting of the map this time. You'd have a slight snafu earlier. May or may not have been responsible for a mad panic.
I could just hear it in the background as soon as you did it. Whoopsie!
Dun 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 dun. Yeah. There may or may not have gone into panic mode.
I kind of just look over at Ratul. Well, he's kind of inviting us forward. What do you want to do? Kind of whisper that back to Gok, and then I know Alardro can't respond, but do we advance?
So what do you guys see now?
I see.
I'm gonna.
Yep, I definitely see him now.
I got a
So-
little glimpse
I
of
don't
it.
see him.
There should be a dimmer light than that, but since it's the fungus glow, but that's just not possible with the way it is, so that's what we'll do. So you do see it, you know, a lot of this glow is emanating from the tree itself. It seems to be covered in quite a bit of this fungus. which does seem to make it a little bit awkward. And you can tell that it is a blackened and twisted trunk. It is sparse with any kind of foliage. The few leaves that are there do seem to be kind of a blood red in color. So as you guys are kind of looking around and debating on what it is that you want to do, you hear him start speaking again. He says, the Gothias tree has taught me many things. Many insights into the minds and souls of man. Soon I'll be strong enough to bring the corpse flower mushroom to its full potential. I will have the power to awaken the latent spores in any who consume their flesh, making their own flesh and bone as puppets to my will. Your arrival is fortuitous. Your deaths will give me just the power I need.
I say I rip Brasnic out before he stops monologuing, and we charge it.
Considering the snares before, I don't think it's a good idea to just rush forward. Did you happen to see the question I asked in the chat?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
I'm gonna growl. Like menace, like loud enough so he should be able to hear.
Oh man, way to start. Jesus, I always do this, the first roll.
Oh no.
Fantastic.
Okay, so which way are you moving?
You didn't roll a nat 1. That's the good part.
Before, I guess, Alardro had moved forward, I was going to try to move my way around the vines and...
Okay, go ahead and move your token in the path that you were going to move in. So you see these vines are kind of cresting up against this wall over here. So at the moment it would be difficult to get past them going in that direction.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been seen or not, so...
As you kind of get over to this point here, you do kind of get up next to the wall there, kind of trying to press yourself up against it. As you do so, you kind of, your shoulder hits the wall, and this kind of a loose stone that you hadn't noticed, in your rush to kind of get into position, kind of rattles in place and then tumbles out of the wall to kind of clatter across the ground.
Shit, I'm muttering under my breath real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna growl.
Okay.
And move up a little bit as I'm smelling and hearing this voice that is obviously a corrupted druid, one who doesn't deserve to be connected to the powers of nature.
Okay. That is an entangle spell.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't tell what that was.
Yeah, I know, because I use the entangle spell effect up in there to be the bramble stuff, so that's my apologies. But that one is actually an active entangle spell. So as you're standing there, you see these vines like moving and kind of lashing around and grasping, trying to find something to come within, their reach that they can try and entangle and grapple onto, like they have done to the dwarf next to you.
I will go this way, backing Yin Yang up. Sorry, I meant to stop there.
Totally fine.
I'm still growling loud enough that he should hear like a pretty ominous bear.
He does, and Urki actually had been moving forward during this time as well, because he has been listening to this, and you kind of see this look of determination on his face, like you just haven't seen that kind of a look on him before. He looks like a very determined little gnome in this moment, and he seems to be actually kind of like following your lead to back you up.
I think I'm gonna run forward so I can help pull the dwarf through.
Okay. Ratul, what are you thinking about in this moment here?
Ratul is going to carefully, slowly grab the tiny dwarf and pull him out of the twisting living vines.
I am not tiny, you're just large.
Go ahead. I mean, both are true. Go ahead and do that with advantage because the dwarf comes over to help you.
So what kind of roll will I be making for this? An athletics check or a strength check?
Let's go with athletics. Okay. So you're definitely able to... the dwarf's assistance is almost an afterthought to the might of Ratul as you kind of grab the dwarf and you start pulling and you can just feel the vines trying to hold on but just snap, 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 just kind of one at a time. You can feel them snapping against the strength of your attack. As you are able to kind of drag Brasnic backwards and out of the vines. You know, you're still kind of grappled up within them a little bit, but you're not actually being grappled. They're just kind of around your body at this point. After you growl and you kind of make your presence known, Alardro, he actually does kind of respond, because this is all kind of happening at the same time. He actually does kind of respond to that, and he says, yes, I have been watching you. I felt your presence. You will be strong. Come and learn from me.
You can like, so he's gonna, I'm gonna growl again. And it's going to be very like, if a bear could show anger, this would be like the full anger of a bear.
Okay. So you definitely, stand up to your full bear height and kind of let out a loud, bear challenge to this offer that you've just received. Very clearly stating your opinion. So, you guys do, after you pull Brasnic free, you see the woman kind of lowers her arm, and the vines that are there actually kind of fall limp at first, and then like quickly wither and die again as they disappear into the ground.
Ratul is going to, now that Brasnic is free and seeing the twisty vines are gone, is going to back around this little corner of stone and try to move to a place unseen.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check. And which way are you moving?
Give me a moment.
Go ahead and move to where you want to move to first, and then roll the stealth check.
I would like to look at Alardro and be like, keep him distracted and kind of do a head motion forward.
I move back here and realize back there is no way past this, since this is just a wall, isn't it?
It does appear to be just like a little alcove, yeah, a natural crack in the rock.
I will still try to stealth.
Okay, go for it.
That should not be an advantage. I was 10.
Okay. I mean, you feel like you're being fairly stealthy.
Yeah, at least you didn't knock a rock over.
For a 7-foot orc.
For like a 7'2" orc, or 7'6". How big are you?
Ratul is a. Let me double check about that.
I believe you're 7'6" when I looked at your character earlier.
7'6", yes.
What is this orcish cloaking technology?
What is Gok doing? Why you're still way up there, buddy?
Oh, I didn't know what we're all taking our stuff currently or taking turns or something.
Right now we're just
I
kind of
probably-
we're out of combat order at the moment.
Okay, probably move to here.
Okay.
Start getting into a position where I can start laying down some hurt.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Could I move further than this 30 feet?
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Just gonna point out, evil always seems to be real grody. Like, except for the first time you meet maybe like a vampire where they look okay, evil seems to always just be real grody.
Yeah, this guy definitely needs a bath. Okay.
Yeah.
Hippie.
Okay. So you guys actually see that Urki doesn't seem to be slowing down in his stride. He actually seems to be determined to confront this situation head on.
As he goes to pass me, I want to put a hand on his shoulder and be like, hold on, let Alardro step forward. He seems interested in him. We can use this.
Yes, the Great Bear is a powerful ally. But I've not been quite honest with you all. I was sent here to stop this druid by my clerical order. It's my job to defeat him.
We all are. Fight smart.
As they're doing this, I'm going to actually step forward.
Okay. Of course. I hear you, Yin Yang. But I must face this threat. And he is actually going to step up beside Alardro.
I'm gonna go down there too, because if I see people charging in battle, I ain't standing behind.
Well, I'm not charging. I'm just like facing them straight on.
Okay. That's a giant bush.
Then get up on two feet and like challenging almost, like swipe a paw, and then get back down onto all fours.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and move out the way since he's distracted.
Alright, where are you going?
Right over here next to Gok.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth.
Do I get any pluses for a giant bear being distracting?
Yeah, you can roll it with advantage, that's fine.
Sweet. Yeah.
25. You are a very stealthy dwarf. So, and you're gonna stay there, Gok?
I mean, might try to move over to this, but I might try to do a stealth check.
Okay, go ahead and move, and then roll that stealth check.
Yeah.
What's the druid doing right now? I mean, I don't know if my character can peek around the corner. I can't see it, but peek my head around the corner. Does he look like he's doing anything? Has he said anything? Taking any action?
I mean, I can see him right now, actually.
Okay, give me
I was asking the
one-
GM.
Yeah, just give me 1 second, please.
So if we all die, I can totally see our next party having to fight them in the next campaign.
Oh yes, isn't that going to be great? Where we have to find a giant mushroom ratool.
Pretty sure if Grybek was a mushroom, he'd just eat himself.
Chomp. Ow. Chomp. Ow, I taste good. Chomp. Ow.
He survived on dead rats. He could survive on his own arm.
But you realize that if you probably wouldn't go chomp out, you sort of, just carve a piece off. If not the entire limb.
True enough, but at the exact same time, eating other things versus eating yourself requires a probably whole different level of constitution.
Yeah, there's a mental aspect.
Just
Unless you
one
really
more
do
second
taste
here.
delicious. I mean, if you're like made of chocolate, you probably have an easier time eating yourself.
Of course, until the pain sets in.
Unless you're truly delicious, yeah, it'd probably be hard to eat yourself.
I think you mean magically delicious, Brasnic?
Look, we know you look like a little green leprechaun, but come on, Gok.
Okay. Okay, touche, man. I can't come up with a good comeback right now. But... yeah.
That was a zinger.
Yeah, it was.
All right, my apologies. I just had a cheeseburger delivery. My fault. Sometimes
You cut out for me.
I just had a cheeseburger delivery, so my apologies there. Sometimes when the cheeseburgers come in, you just gotta go and get them.
Try a cheeseburger delivery.
Well, that's what girlfriends are for. Okay, so no, I'm just kidding.
Gotta get me one of those then.
Watch out for flying shoes and to go with that comment.
I know. I was gonna say that's very dick and sexist, and I apologize tremendously. I get her cheeseburgers too, to be fair. So let's not go there.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so
Yep. Job of any significant other.
right. So Doc, that was a very nice stealth roll that you had there as well.
Thank you.
And for that one, we are actually going to do one of these. Yeah. No. Okay.
He almost didn't see me.
Yeah. Perception not on point for the bad guys right now. So you're okay.
Ratool is going to move up if that's possible.
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so you guys are kind of moving into position. Go ahead and roll another stealth check on Ratool. Okay. Man, you guys are doing really well here.
Everyone but me.
Just suddenly sneaks up right by Brasnic.
Apparently. Yeah, you're suddenly surprised by a very stealthy work. So, as you kind of are coming around the corner, you kind of rear up on your hind legs, and you yell out or growl out another bear challenge towards this druid. You see the male figure on the right looks like a paladin or something of that nature. Looks like at one time he was, a very possibly renowned knight or something like that. He definitely looks like before he was corrupted that he may have been a great champion for good. You see him actually kind of lift up his shield a little bit, and he slowly draws his sword, as he's looking at this bear with intense an intense glare. You see the wizard. She also is kind of looking at the bear, but her gaze quickly actually shifts to Erky Timbers, and she also remains silent. Belak, however, notices the gnome. And he says, well. Looks like the great Sylvanus has decided to make his almighty will known in this fight. Come then, I will show you the new power I've discovered in the shadows and gloom. You see Erky kind of raise up his mace a little bit. He says, well, I'm not afraid of you. I've come to destroy you. I've heard what you're doing in here. What you've done to the dragon. Which is the first time you guys have heard him really talk about the dragon. Like he may know more than he's let on. And the Belak kind of, looks at him, kind of crooks his head a little bit. Dragons. Blasted be the dragons and all their kin. Long did I watch over an ancient grove nestled in the crook of a great mountain. Jewel of a lake fed by an underground cavern nourished the ancient wood. Till the black drake came from the water. Young she was, still strong and fierce. Great gouts of black bile destroyed my beautiful wood. Destroyed the sacred oak. Did this to me. Ha! Ha! And you see him slowly raise his arm after his coughing fit, and you see the tattered robes fall back, and it reveals this sickly greenish tint raced through with black lines that seem to race around his forearm and up past his elbow. You see that past the elbow, it seems to be withered and riddled with open sores and festering wounds. You can see carved into his flesh a disease and twisted dragon mark. With her great claws she did this, after dipping them in her own treacherous bile. Nightscale is her name. Ha! Ha! She captured me and forced me into her army. She twisted my bond with nature to her own needs, sprouted a seed of her evil within me. Ha! A great army did she raise from the shadows of her ancient mountain fortress. An army of monsters and orcs, goblins and other creepy crawlies from the depths of the earth. As he's saying this, he kind of gestures towards the monstrous members of the party.
He
Don't
can't
see-
see me.
Doesn't see me at all. You can't see Jack.
You guys are very confident in feeling that. Jeez.
Like Arturo, shut your ears. He's saying terrible things.
Can I roll a history check to know if I've heard of that grove or any of this dragon or anything?
Yes. Gok and Ratul can also roll a history check with advantage.
Oh, okay.
History with advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Don't waste
Oh my fucking god. What?
What the fuck?
Wasted!
Okay, I will get right back to that.
Okay.
Y'all two just share like this moment as you look at each other.
I guess greenskins have a psychic link of just rolling net 20s for history.
It's
Sorry,
true.
I'm having a good orcs and men moment here.
It's true. So getting right back to those fantastic rolls, he does kind of continue on, and he says, creatures like these and the ones above, destroyed they were by a powerful band of mercenaries, the Dragon's Blade, an ironic name in this case. Many of the monster folk were slain, and in that chaos I escaped. Found this home I did and slew my way to the sacred place. And as he says this, with those two natural 20s, you guys both instantly realize that he's talking, this monstrous army that he's talking about is something you've experienced in your own lives. And you realize, Gok, that the band of adventurers that he's talking about is that same band of adventurers that destroyed the army that you joined, that you were forced into by the hobgoblins.
Well, crap. Dang. Huh.
And you
That's
realize
kind of a coincidence.
that this druid apparently was also a part of that same army that you once belonged to. This bit about the dragon is new to you, though. As far as you ever knew, it was always the hobgoblins, it was the orcs, it was the ogre commanders, these great goblinoid creatures that have always been a torment in the lives of you and your kin. But it isn't entirely surprising to hear that there was a higher power that seemed to be organizing this great army. Because even in your own experience, you've never, seen a gathering of that many tribes, of that many monstrous creatures fighting for the same cause. And Ratul, you also realized that your family, as they were migrating, were caught up in this same army, and they were a part of this before they too were slain. And you were sent on your travels. Suddenly realizing, possibly, that perhaps you and Gok have a deeper connection than you realized before.
So what you're saying is, literally is of orcs and goblins, basically.
Saying what?
You know, the game, the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Ratul said it. I forgot.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, please.
Let's skip.
Of orcs and men.
Yes, of orcs and men. Jesus. Thank you. We're literally having that moment right now.
Okay. So yeah, you guys definitely seem to be drawing that connection that this druid definitely was a part of this same army that you guys were once a part of. Ratul, for you, it was a little more in the distance. Like your tribe just seemed to be kind of caught up in this overall campaign. So for you, it was a little less personal than it was for Gok, who was kind of in the center of this horde and around some of the leadership as well. So anyway, all of this information just kind of comes to the two of you as you hear this druid talking. And after he says that he kind of, seemed to kill his way through the citadel, getting to this grove and finding this tree, he actually kind of reaches up and kind of behind him and seems to almost lovingly pat the tree. And he says, "Hungry for new flesh he is. The last dragon is nearly spent. Roots have dug deep into the ancient creature. But the white is nearly ready to be made into a new meal to sate a need for the living essence of mortal creatures. A meal such as these is but a snack, as he gestures towards the 2 humans standing in front of him. But the Great Red, he has fed her for a long time. Such is the fate for all dragonkind. Will lure them to this ancient citadel with the legend of this lost dragon horde, and feed them all to the Gothias tree, one by one.
Okay, I want to punch him now.
I was gonna literally just look back at the rest of the party. I was like, "Are we doing this now?"
I just give him a head nod. It is punch time.
Okay.
I want to throw my alchemist fire vial at the tree.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Everybody is ready to jump into this fight. All right, so we are going to go right back into that initiative order. The movements have been made. The positioning is done. So from this point forward, please limit it to your in-turn movement and such. So, Gok, you're hiding around the corner, and as you're listening to this druid talk, realizing some of that connection you may have had to this person in the past. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that maybe if he's alive, probably question later. This, but right now I gotta take out 2 other tree zombies. This
Okay.
guy. I'm thinking. Oh god. Okay, let's see. Can this reach from here? Gotta check the spell. It's gonna blast all 3 of these guys with the scroll that I have.
Okay.
Spicy.
This is where these get fun.
I mean,
I did want to ask though, the alchemist fire thing I said I was gonna do. Do I have to do that on my turn, or could I have done that before we started?
No, that'll be on your turn, but you are next.
Okay.
Okay. I can hit them all where I am right now. With this. I don't know if it's going to land, because it's a spell attack. So, you
You
know.
have an advantage because you're stealth.
Oh, that is true. Okay. Hopefully I don't roll 2 1s or something like that. Okay. I don't have the spell set up, I just realized. I probably should.
Okay.
Okay, but it's a ranged spell attack. So I'll just roll a d20 and then plus whatever my spell attack bonus is. Or
Wait, hold on. So you're reading off a scroll, right?
yeah.
Don't you need to make a check to see you can actually activate the spell from the scroll?
Oh. That's a good point, actually.
And actually use the save DC of the scroll too. So depending on the level of spell, for first level the DC is 13, second 13, you get a +5 attack bonus.
Oh, I get a... Okay, I don't know what the level... Is it just
What spell is it?
basic Scorching Ray?
Scorching Ray?
Yeah, that's what I have.
All right.
If I remember correctly, Scorching Ray, to read it, you need to make a caster's check of DC 12 to cast it.
Wait, what now?
If you try to activate a spell from a spell scroll, you need to make a caster's check for it first to see you can actually read it and cast it.
What if it's not on your spell list?
If it's not on your spell list, then you literally cannot read the scroll.
Ooh.
Is Scorching Ray on the Warlock spell list?
it is. That's why I gave
It's
it.
on the Warlock spell list.
Okay. So you can cast the spell. You can read the spell. So go ahead and this is a 2nd level spell. Can you cast 2nd level magic?
think I can.
No, not until you get another level up.
Nope, you're only a
can't
second level
cast it.
caster.
So,
Well, no, you can cast it. You need to make an ability check though.
Yeah,
So
DC
you
10
need
plus the
to-
spell's level.
Okay, so DC.
So yep,
12.
DC check.
So-
So just a straight charisma check.
Okay, straight charisma check, and I have to go to.
It's not. Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
I,
So DC 12.
Okay.
Sweet.
So you're,
Passed
you're able to cast the spell. So now go ahead and make 3 ranged spell attacks.
it. Okay.
With
With
With plus
advantage because you're still.
5 for the
Yeah.
spell level.
Okay, so just roll a d20
with advantage.
Oh, no, he rolls. It's 4. Remember, isn't it a second level spell? Oh no, it's slot above second. Never mind.
Okay, 21.
And these are not with advantage, right? So it's 21 and 10 is the first
Wait, no, they are advantages,
one. Oh, there.
but I just. Okay, this one. Hang on.
First one's 21, and there's just 7 whatever you roll next. So 22 and 21, and 21.
21, 22,
All
21.
3 hit.
Those
Yeah,
are
all 3 of them hit.
All 3 of them hit.
It's just it's hard to press the button because it kind of messes up. I try to go to the dice roller.
Okay.
Okay, now I just input the damage roll, which is a 2d6.
Who's your
2d6
targets?
times by 3, so 66.
This guy. Or should I just put on one target? I mean,
What for the Gok
you
do?
could either
That's
get
up to you.
all 3 of them. I guess I'll just hit all. Damage.
Okay.
I'm just gonna assume that it's gonna do more damage because they're half plants to some of these guys.
Reasonable assumption.
but they're magic plants.
Okay, the 7 is on this.
The 7 was on the paladin.
Yes, 7's on the paladin. The other 7's on her, and the 8 is on Druid.
Okay.
So, just gonna unleash that image, and hopefully it does more. 7. Oh.
Okay. 1 second.
I read from this thing as fast as I can, and then I shoot out these fiery rays of energy at these nerds. And it hits them
Okay.
right in their faces.
Right in all of their faces. Okay. So, that's very interesting, sir. Let's see. If only she could cast third level spells.
Counterspell.
And I could just counterspell that, but she can't, so.
Well, let's eat it, lady.
So
Such a Gok thing to say.
it's true. That is super true.
Eat my
Okay.
fire.
Okay, well, that is a very surprising first round for old Gok Sour Gut, and they are going to eat it full in the face. So as you blast out, you step out and you kind of unravel this scroll and you start speaking in the arcane language. As you finish it, all of a sudden, all of the writing on the scroll itself starts glowing in this like light blue kind of energy. As it flares out, the whole spell scroll is consumed in the energy, and suddenly there's 3 bright arcs of almost sun-like fire streak out from you, and as they strike each one of them, you see them all kind of respond and like kind of try and shield themselves. You see the the paladin tries to get his shield, in the way of the blast. It looks almost like he's trying to protect the druid, but sadly, they all get hammered by these scorching rays.
Can I see if it does any extra damage to the other two? Or not?
It does not seem like it does do any extra damage to them.
Right. Okay.
But after you step out and you cast your magic, you see him kind of like snap his head over, and he looks out at you, and in fury and anger, and he actually kind of stops, and his eyes widen a little bit, and he starts laughing. He says, I see that Alistair Jinx met his end in that battle as well. Is that where you found the robes, little scavenger? Stole them, you did, from the field of battle? Little thief. Do they make you feel powerful? Do you feel the compulsion to dominate the world around you as he did? Have you heard her voice in your mind?
First of all, walking asthma attack. I did feel powerful while using the scrolls. And 2, I think I put them to good use by burning your old bearded butt.
He actually seems to be talking about the robes that you're wearing.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He said that he said that Alistair Jinx met his end in the battle, and then asked if you found the robes on the field of battle. He called you a little thief.
I'm gonna be a bit confused. I took this after climbing out of the, getting out of some body pile. And this seemed better than what I originally had on. It kind of rotted. I didn't know, this was to a powerful guy.
Okay, so Gok starts monologuing. Okay.
Yeah, gonna think about that. But then come to the realization that, oh, wait, but now I've just pissed off all these guys. So I'm gonna Zoidberg out of here, and...
Okay. Okay.
That's the end of it.
All right. So, some information.
Oh wait, no, I'm gonna say, go get him, guys! I'm chopping them up for you.
So you never knew the name of the mage or warlock or whatever he was. But you got these.
Definitely
robes
gonna
off
keep
of.
it as a side. Honestly. That's an interesting development.
So, Yin Yang.
I'm gonna peer around the corner real quick. And then, where's my distance tool? Not quite. So, alright, so I would step around, hang on. So I'd step from there, one. And is it double movement, or can I probably make a dexterity check or maybe something to try to leap over, or leap off of Alardro, kind of, like you're just trying to do like a hop skip over like a bench or something?
Because you're Yin Yang, I'll allow it.
God, so low, but still 13.
What level are you?
2.
So, like a spell DC for you would probably be right around 12 or 13, yeah? I'll say that's just good enough.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20. See if I'm close enough.
Oh boy, you're asking for it, aren't you?
And I'm gonna throw the alchemist fire at the tree.
Okay.
You get real angry, I bet.
Go ahead and roll a acrobatics or dexterity, as you will.
It says to treat it like an improvised weapon, make a ranged attack. So I guess
Okay.
my dexterity.
Yeah, I mean
But since
that's.
I'm, I guess, somewhat proficient with throwing things, it is improvised weapon. Does this count anywhere towards my proficiency with my darts, or no? Or is it just my dexterity?
I'd say dexterity plus, or a d20 plus your dex, yeah.
Alright, so let's do a dexterity check. And I'm aiming for the big tree, so hopefully it's not too hard to hit.
Okay.
14.
All right. So as you kind of step forward to where you are there, and you fling this vial out, as it hits the tree, it kind of splatters all it. The vial shatters, and it cracks open and spills oil all across the kind of an upper part of the trunk, and starts kind of draining down the trunk as the liquid comes out.
No, the fluid ignites when it gets exposed to the air. It becomes burning, consistent flame.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, go ahead and roll 1d4.
Because the moment I saw him there pretty much say that the tree was bearing fruit, I was like, nope, no tree.
About to get the heart of iron, remember.
It's iron. It'll be alright.
Okay, roll 1d4. All right.
So 2, and then until it gets put out, I don't know how long it'll last for, but it says they're pretty much on fire until they put it out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to run back and go right back to where I was.
Okay. Well done.
Be like, no tree for you. Nice to meet you. Bye.
Okay. Brasnic.
Oh, he didn't even react to that?
He does, actually, as you fling it over, and it hits the tree and kind of ignites up, starting the trunk on fire. You actually, you see both Sir Bradford and Sharwin actually, they start wincing, and you see them actually, you hear Sharwin kind of gasp as if she's in pain. You see Belak kind of notice this and look back at the tree, and he says, "No, what have you done?"
Sorry, Brasnic. I was curious if he reacted at all to that. Go ahead.
No problem.
That's some good info. He must really want that tree alive.
So can I fit through here?
Sure.
This wall here. Hopefully still not exactly being seen. And I'm gonna go ahead and increase the blaze by also throwing my alchemist fire. Because why not?
Okay. Roll, well, never mind. Yeah, you're good.
Yep. So it's let's see. 1d20. Well, okay.
Damn.
Oh, man, you caught a sweet spot.
Yeah, dang.
You guys, what are you doing here? Why are you trying to
Rolling
win?
20s tonight, that's what.
Why are you trying to win?
2d4 shit that, bro.
So
So
do I?
you definitely hit that tree. I'm sorry, I'm just giving in some hit points here. You definitely do hit the tree, and as it hits, it actually kind of hits kind of near where the other one hit, and a little bit further up. And as it this sticky fluid kind of spatters across the trunk. It instantly lights up into flame, and it seems to actually catch a few of the upper branches. The leaves are catching on as well, and it seems to almost double in size almost instantly. Go ahead and roll 2d4 or 1d4. No, 2d4. What am I talking about? I know what I'm doing, I promise.
5.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And then I'm going to go ahead and finish my movement. So I have moved
I know
15
it's a
feet,
stretch. I'm just playing.
20, 25, and hopefully I can try and hide. So bonus action to use the cunning action to try and erase my presence.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
16.
Okay.
That's it for right.
It's a 16. All right, Grybek.
Alright, with everybody seems to be staying back and not charging him. I'm hurting bad, so I'm not going to charge. I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on the
On who?
wizard lady.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I think she makes a saving throw.
Yeah, I just put it in chat.
Okay. So you step forward and you call out with your priestly magic, and as you kind of clench your fist, the flame kind of descends from the top of the ceiling, from the heavens, as it were, as it comes down to strike her. You actually see her kind of just hold up her hand for a second, and you, just being a caster yourself, almost see like a weave of protection around her. So it's going to be this plus 4.
That's still not enough.
Not enough.
Wow.
So you see, your anger, your fury, your priestly might is just far too strong for her defenses, as you feel your magic just pummel through her attempts to deflect it, and it strikes down upon her. Again, taking the heat of the flame. Okay, well done.
Alright, as a bonus action, I'm going to take my warhammer and my shield to try to taunt someone to come towards me.
Okay, who are you trying to taunt?
Oh, the paladin.
Okay.
So intimidating as you stand behind a bear doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, come and get it then. Okay, so he actually is just holding his sword and holding his shield, and he doesn't seem to actually respond to you at all, to your taunting.
No, I'm not surprised.
Okay. So, interesting. Okay. So I feel like there's only really one option that this druid would have here. Right in the moment, you see him he actually orders the paladin to put out the fire. And then he kind of turns back and he looks at the druid, Alardro, and he kind of raises up his left arm, And you see again the robes kind of fall back and reveal the sickly forearm carved with into the flesh with the dragon mark. And you see almost like an aura of black motes start to come up off of this dragon mark as he slowly clenches his fist. And he says, "You'll be the first to die." And as he finishes clenching his fist, and he suddenly lashes out his arm towards you. And you see this black beam of energy spring forth out of his hand towards you. Did that not actually cast the attack?
It did. I make a strength save, right?
No, you need to first make an attack roll against, then you make a strength save.
Why
Wait,
didn't...
Raven Feeblement? No, it's a ranged spell attack. On a hit, you only deal half damage with weapon attacks that use strength. And at the end of each of your turns, you can make a Constitution saving.
Okay. Okay. So he has to hit me still. Cool.
Well, it didn't actually automatically enter the attack roll in there, which is kind
He
of
didn't
weird.
roll the attack, so he just has to roll a d20 plus spell modifier, I guess.
Weird. Okay.
It's a weird spell. I almost never see it cast, so I forget what it does.
Okay, so D20.
It's actually quite useful.
Depending on who you use it against.
So that's going to hit you.
Only hits. As a bear, I have very low AC.
Okay. So you feel this black energy kind of wash over you, and you feel the decay and the sickness that comes with it, and you feel it just kind of sap your strength. You just feel kind of withered. I was going to use that on the big orc, but, he's hiding.
A bear is still pretty scary.
It is. That's why he chose you. Okay, so that's going to be his turn. You see Sir Bradford kind of take a step back, and he sheathes his sword and kind of takes his cloak off, and he starts batting at this tree, batting at the flames, trying to put it out. So he needs to roll a DC 10 dexterity check.
So I'm curious, do they have to do that for both of our Alchemist Fire, or do they combine into one flame?
No, he'll have to do it for each of them. Oof. Just what he needed. So you see him actually kind of taking his cloak, and he does seem to manage to smother out the lower section of the fire there. It does seem like if he wants to keep trying to do that, he would have to start kind of getting up into this tree to get the rest of it, though. So that is going to be his turn. So Alardro, you feel this darkness about you now.
I'm gonna move forward. Let's see. And the spellcaster is right in front of me, and she seems pretty dangerous. And I know Erky really wants to get a good hit on the Druid, so I'll take out his flunky or lackey.
All right.
So first attack.
Okay.
I assume that misses.
That is going to miss.
Okay, and then I make a second attack with my claw.
Okay.
Woo!
Don't forget, you only do half damage with strength-based attack.
You're right. Okay.
Still significant, though.
Okay. So as you are actually lashing out with your claws, after your first bite attempt, you see the paladin kind of notice you out of the corner of his eyes. And as you go to swipe out with your claws, he reaches out and just manages to interpose his shield into your attack. Go ahead and roll it again. $17 still going to hit, but it is not going to do that double damage. So you do 9 points of that damage to her,
Half.
but half.
It,
So you're going to do 4 points total. So you do hit the shield. Your paw, just the strength of yourself, even at half strength, it kind of powers through the shield, and you still manage to claw into her upper thigh, and you see it almost looks like, instead of blood, this almost like sap-like fluid. It's like a red sap almost that comes out of her leg.
then going to move here to try and then taunt the druid, just like I beat up your friend, like, and like I'll like feint like a claw swipe at him. Not that I can fully do it, but like on my way down movement, like almost like make him flinch.
Okay. Just flinching at him.
Trying to make it flinch. I'll like have my claws ready and. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess that's it.
So
at the end of my turn.
as you're moving into as you finish your attack and you move forward and you start taunting the druid, he kind of looks over at you, and it almost looks like he just kind of shrugs his hand and kind of lashes it towards you a little bit. Not like he's gonna strike you, almost like if his hand were wet and he was trying to fling water on you. And you see, or you feel this essence, and go ahead and roll a nature check real quick. Okay, so you definitely can tell that all of these little, this life cycle of these mushrooms has been continuing, like all over his body. You see little mushrooms kind of growing up and then blooming and dying off. And as he's doing this, you see all of these kind of, these greenish mushrooms kind of grow up on his arm, and as they come to full bloom, that's when he flings his arm, and you see like this little cloud of spores kind of leap out of these mushrooms, and they kind of fly at you and kind of wash over your face and over your neck and your upper body, and you feel the necrotic nature of these spores as they're kind of landing all over you, and everywhere that they land, you feel your flesh start to rot.
So I'll make a Constitution saving throw for this.
You can do that as a reaction?
Yes. So go ahead.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, that's wrong. I don't use that one. I actually have to use a different one.
Oh. Okay. So
And then I make...
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'll have to make another con save at the end of my turn for the Ray of Enfeeblement, I believe, too.
Mm-hmm.
Should I do those together?
Yeah, go ahead. That one, not so successful. So, you do feel these spores kind of land on you, and you do feel the sting of their necrotic nature as it starts to eat at your flesh. But you kind of growl and you shake your bare head, and you feel you're able to kind of fling off the bulk of them off of your body even as they're landing, and you're able to avoid the damage from it.
Okay, so that's my full turn.
Okay. Well, that happened. But yeah, that is something that he can do as a reaction. So, Erky Timbas. Emboldened by the bear's attack, Erky is also going to wade into battle. Oh, your day is done here today. Do not befoul this magic anymore. I think he is also going to try and strike out at the mage as he comes in, realizing the tactics that the group is showing. As he swings out of her, she does seem to actually be able to kind of use. She's got like these kind of gauntlets on that seem to be helping her hold the two wands that she has in her hands. And you see her kind of use one of the gauntlets to kind of bat aside the mace attack. At the bottom of the order, it is finally time for the big orc to make his presence felt.
Time for the green machine.
It ain't easy being green.
Alright, I'm going to use my bonus action to aggressively charge this woman. Just to close the last bit of distance, and now I'm going to go ahead and try to punch. Do I have advantage for being stealth this entire time?
Not really. And sort of charge around the corner. I mean,
And they didn't know he was there, so he pretty much charges and makes his presence known. As far as I'm aware, is how it works.
Yeah.
So he would have it for this turn.
Just never got that. I mean, he charged across, what, 20, 30 feet of open ground?
While they're in combat with a bear and a gnome,
Again, still,
GM
he's
call,
a
I guess.
large. I just never got that.
What do you say, GM? Do I get advantage for being stealth or me charging like a giant green train wreck? Not.
I would say no to the stealth.
you cut out before your ruling.
I would say no to the stealth. At the advantage.
Alright, just making sure.
Punch. Nope.
All right. You do swing out, but sadly are unable to hit with the chain hammer.
And that's all I can do.
Oh,
We gotta get some momentum, guys. Don't lose it.
You use the bonus action. Okay, top of the order. This war mage is not happy with you. Any of you. And you see her almost looking nervous in the moment. And you see her kind of bring her arms down, and then she snaps her eyes up at the big orc and quickly mouths a quick incantation. And suddenly you see her form shift as 3 other versions of her step out from her presence. And now there are 4 of her.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh man, classic
Pyramid.
Zeus.
A little bird friend taught her that trick.
I gained some disciples in the last campaign. I'm sorry.
No, we're good. So,
I actually get some disciples.
she is now under the protection of that mirror image spell. So, we will keep that in mind going forward here.
I did want to ask, since we're coming to the top of the order, did the tree get an initiative? Because it takes more damage on its turns.
I'm just going to give it the more damage on your turn, since that's the one that's... Or on Brasnic's turn.
Okay, I was just curious how that worked, considering it did have an initiative order.
Yeah, for sure. So, Gok.
Hello.
Hello. You hear the sounds of battle on the other side of this 20-foot wall.
I mean, you know, it looks like pretty good stone masonry. Definitely from a very higher, older period of time. Oh, right, I should be figuring out what I should do for my turn, so,
Gok just admires the stone.
How does Gok feel about not having a shadow anymore?
That it's something new. This hasn't happened. I mean, you know, I've seen a lot of people die, but I've never seen somebody's shadow just completely vanish in front of them. It's a new experience.
It is.
It's a terrifying experience, but it's a new experience.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. These guys over here. You know, I want to use the other scroll on the Druid, but I think I'm going to just save that for later. I'm going to use an Eldritch Blast on this guy.
Okay. Go ahead and make that roll.
Ooh.
Your Eldritch Blast lances out, but shoots wildly over the Druid's shoulder. As again, you know, he kind of looks over, feeling a bit set upon at this point by this rush of heroes. Is it going to be the end of your turn, sir?
I think so, unless, no. No, I don't. I can't do that as bonus action. So I'm good. I'm just gonna stay by this nice bit of wall and admire it some more. That's the image.
Okay. Yin Yang.
Alright, Grybek, let's do this. Alright, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This is the Druid or the Paladin?
That's the Paladin.
Oh boy.
And then I'm actually gonna go ahead and hit the chickie. Waste my stat. I'm gonna try to go ahead and give it overhead swing and just crack the skull if I can.
Okay.
Do I have advantage because of Alardro?
I feel like it would
For
be the
flanking?
same kind
Or
of
no?
a thing. Have I been doing the flanking rule for advantage up until now?
I think we have. That's why I was asking.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It's been on. I believe we were though.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that with advantage.
It's 23.
Okay.
6 bludgeoning.
Let's find out.
Wait, she has the multiples of her.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
And with that, you just took out 1.
Yeah, you took out one of the clones.
Yep. So you do, man. You run over, and as you swing out, you do manage to connect with. You think it's her, but as your bow staff connects with the her form, you see it just kind of waver for a moment and then dissipate into magical energy.
Yin looks slightly confused because he didn't see her cast this and says, don't like that. Then I'm going to use a key point to do Flurry of Blows. And I'm going to put the other 2 at the Druid.
Okay.
$18 and $19.
Bang and bang. All right. Let's see. So you do lash out, and you'll bap, bap, and you hit him twice. You see him kind of stagger from the blows, and as he does so, you see him kind of lash his arm towards you. Where is that bastard? Go ahead.
Hey, has he gotten his reaction back? Because he used it on Alardro.
Yeah, that was the last round. Oh wait, did he use that on Alardro this round?
Yeah, he hasn't come back to his turn yet.
Okay, yeah, no.
Go out. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, no, he does not have that available. So he just gets bapped.
And then since I attack them both, I'm just gonna be like, actually, you know what? I will stay where I'm at. I know I've got some allies on the way. And then I'll pretty much just adopt my martial stance and be like, you're gonna pay for all them damn snares.
You didn't like that part?
No, I'm the most dexterous person in the party and get caught in like 4 of them.
You mean it was just an average?
There, the inconvenience.
If I recall, he was pretty peeved about that. So yeah, that's why he got both shots, and that's my turn.
It's true. All right, so you give him the bap. All right, Brasnic. You hear your friends engaging.
I'm gonna go ahead and rush out here and fling both daggers at since he's got the whole speech and everything. Seems to be the center point of the whole bad stuff that's happening.
Who are you throwing daggers at? The Druid?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and do that.
Oh, wait, so was I actually hidden and have advantage?
Yes, because you were a rogue. We're gonna give you that.
Alright, so I rolled that before I was supposed to, but I'll roll again. Here's the first dagger. It's a 20, thank God for advantage. And I do allies, so total of 12 damage on the first dagger. If 20 hits.
Okay.
And bonus action throw the other dagger. It
Wouldn't
just came out.
Wouldn't that be the 6?
No, that was the advantage from being hidden. It's just I'm using the query button, so I hit before I hit submit twice, so I couldn't choose advantage.
Okay.
Here's the second dagger, which again came out at the same time. Double throw. There's the actual advantage I was supposed to have. Yeah, but I wish I would have crit with the sneak attack.
Okay.
Where is the thing?
On that one, you see Sir Bradford actually interpose his shield just as the dagger
crap.
is about to hit. You see it patang off of a shield that suddenly wasn't there a moment ago.
That was a good throw, you bastard.
He's already done that, I think. Yeah, he did that before. He did that when I attacked the.
Chicky.
Yeah.
So does he? I don't think he has his reaction back. His turn hasn't come around.
That was at the end of last round.
I think he has reaction back on their turn though.
So what happened?
Come back up.
On my turn, both of them used their reactions, and it hasn't gone back to their turn.
I thought they just got it back the next round.
Yes, but it's
their
on their
turn.
It specifically says that in the rules. You get your reaction back when it's your turn.
Okay. All right.
But cool. So 8 damage. Feel like a badass right now.
All right.
I
So
mean-
your daggers both fly out and stick into the Druid.
Yep.
You hear him scream out in pain at this point. With he's taken some hits now, and you see the 2 daggers sticking out of him, and he kind of looking up and looking around at the party. It's kind of a different look at this point. Grybek.
There's my last 5 feet of movement.
Okay.
All right. Now that I notice everyone's finally getting into battle, I'm gonna charge down 25. Still can't make any contact, so I'll cast Sacred Flame at the wizard again.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
Thank God for save spells.
Alright, so that
Yes.
is going to be... So that is going to be a duplicate, and the AC... What did you roll?
It's a save spell, so the duplicates don't. It doesn't affect the duplicates. The duplicates there has to be an attack roll.
Yeah, you just successfully
She just makes it, and that 12 can be her save or whatever.
Okay, good enough. All right, so the flame does kind of strike down at her from the heavens. She does seem to be able to kind of sidestep it a little bit.
As a bonus action, I'm gonna try to taunt that paladin again to come at me.
Okay. Roll intimidation.
Oh no.
Okay. Belak. So he gets his reaction back. He is not at all excited about what you guys are doing here.
How's that?
Did you roll the damage on the tree?
What?
Did you roll the damage on the tree for the Alchemist Fire
Brasnic
on
will
Brasnic?
put it on his.
You see that the fire definitely is starting to spread a little bit. It's starting to catch up into those branches. Let's see. So, Curiouser and Curiouser. Well, the question is, who has done the most to him at this point?
Certainly wasn't me.
Brasnic with that 18.
No, he lies.
Question: has he made all his Constitution saving throws?
That's right.
Oh, right, he was concentrating.
You were right about that. 1 second.
There's what, 4?
4 of them, 2 from me and 2 from you.
He's gotta be 10 4 times. And okay, never mind.
Nope. All done there. Okay, so you are no longer being affected by that spell. As you feel your strength kind of return to your limbs after he is struck by Yin Yang. You can feel your strength returning. Let's see. This is very, very interesting. Well, He actually reaches up and kind of touches himself on the chest, and you see some of the wounds from the daggers. You see that they actually start closing up, and you see one of the daggers kind of fall out of his chest, and where there was the wound, it seems to have closed over.
That's not good.
You're only prolonging your suffering.
Okay, so that's gonna be one of those. And he actually calls out, and he says, "Sir Bradford, protect me!" And you see the paladin actually reaches over, and he will actually heals
Son of a gun.
the druid as well. But he did not put out the flames on the Gulthias tree this round. So, Alardro, you see this druid seems to be healing himself and getting heals from his comrade.
I'm gonna. Okay. Yeah, I guess seeing him get healing, I'm thinking now's the time to strike at him.
Okay. 23. Damn, look at you guys rolling so well.
And for the second attack,
Okay. So, for the first attack, Sir Bradford, since he does have his reaction back now, he is going to try and impose disadvantage on that one. So go ahead and roll one more time on that bite. Okay. So he is able to kind of to fend off your attack with the bite. His shield gets in the way just enough to kind of push your jaws aside right before they clench shut on the druid. But as you are kind of forced away from that, you lash out with one of your paws, and you slash into the side of the druid, drawing bright red blood.
I'm going to growl there. I'm going to growl right up in his face.
Okay. Urky Timbers. So Urky's going to try and swing at this mage here. That's going to be a hit. Alright. So a 10 or less means it's one of the mirror images, right? I don't know about that. 6 or higher. Okay.
It's actually 8 right now because he's only got 2, and then once this one disappears, it has to be an
yeah.
11 for the last
8
one.
or higher. Okay. So that's definitely going to be a good enough hit to destroy one of the duplicates. As he swings out, you see another one of the images of her kind of like wavers for a moment and then dissipates into the magical energy. You see 2 of her standing there now. That'll do, Timbers. The Red Earth.
Lunchtime.
You now see 2 of them standing in front of you as you swing out with your first attack. Oof. Okay. You actually you lash out with the first attack. It seems like it almost passes through one of the images, but it doesn't seem to dissipate it. And as you kind of finish out the swing, you hit below 5 it's Urky, and above 5 it's Yin Yang. Erky. Roll the damage on those chain hammers. 6 points as you bludgeon, clobber the cleric. Just kind of out of nowhere too, and you hit him like right in the side of the head because he is so short. And he just kind of like, his head just goes swinging wildly to the left as he kind of like shakes his head and like, stands back up again. He's like, whoa, what was that for?
Sorry.
And I try to punch again with bonus.
Okay.
Just blame it on the bloodlust ritual.
Yin just goes, ha! See? It happens!
So you hit the wizard, but it seems like your fist almost, well, I shouldn't say you hit because that's a miss, but for story
Well,
purposes.
she has one thing left, right?
Yes. But that
Still needs to be, any attack against her will need to be rolled with a d20 to see if I hit her or a duplicate.
right.
Also, the duplicates have AC.
10 plus dex.
Right. So that is going to hit a duplicate. 10
And
plus.
with that, the last duplicate falls.
So the last of the duplicates is going to fall. So you see her kind of standing there looking around after this. Still doesn't seem to be any sort of an emotional response from either her or the paladin.
And that'll be it for me.
Okay. So, at the top of the order. Sherwin.
How are they reacting from the tree, since they reacted to it before?
They do still seem to be like wincing. Every time the tree, the flames seem to spread on the tree. It seems like they seem to be being somehow affected by it. Doesn't seem like they're taking damage, but they can definitely. It seems like they are somehow bonded with this tree. So. Ratul, you have been swinging on this wizard madly for a few seconds now. And as the last of her duplicates falls, she looks at you with this intensity and starts speaking in an arcane language. And you feel this madness start to overwhelm you.
Oh boy, wisdom save, right?
Yes, sir.
Way to go, Ratul.
Damn. Okay, so as you feel this magic starting to overwhelm you, and you see this black crown almost start to emanate out of magical energy, start to emanate out from around her brow as it wraps around her head and forms into the shape of this crown. It looks like it's almost made of shifting black magical energy. And you see her eyes almost seem to grow even darker than the black pits they were before. And as this magic is affecting you, you hear her whisper, "Kill them all." And as you feel this compulsion overwhelming you, and your life of pain and being pushed around by other orcs as a smaller creature, and then finally coming into your own, joining some of the army, getting in these battles, you feel that inner core of rage suddenly take over as you growl deeply in your chest, and you just fight off this magical attack with your pure anger. As you look up at her, what do you say?
Eat a dick.
Okay. All right. You fight off the crown of madness. Nice work. That would have been really bad for you guys. Because then you would have had to fight Ratul too.
Did you happen to get the message I sent you, by the way, Indigo?
Where did you send it?
In Discord. I wanted to bring this up now, but I didn't want to interrupt the combat and stuff like that, but I was just bringing it up to your attention.
Cool. Alright, so Gok Sour Gut.
Guess I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the Druid again. You know, it seems like everybody else is handling the other two guys. Might as well take out the big cheese.
Okay.
Well, it was. Actually, I might use a witch.
What's the range on that witch bolt?
Oh, it's only 30 feet. Now I'll just use it. Seems to work better.
Okay.
I should have hit first.
So you lash out again. Your purple eldritch magic lances out. Kind of casting out over the shoulders of these guys again. After so many times of blasting your comrades in the back with an errant strike, your aim is a little off. You're a little hesitant to blast these enemies that are amongst your allies.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
You gonna move them?
I'm going to move here. Actually, there. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I think I'll end my turn then.
All right.
Oh wait, no, I can't. I can't just stealth up right behind this.
Do you have a?
As a goblin, can you do that as a bonus action?
I think I can. I think I know I can disengage. Bonus action.
As a goblin?
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah, I don't know if it has stealth too.
no, it doesn't.
Okay.
Well, it's
Yeah, but you're there. Oh, ow. God damn it. All right, so that's the end of your turn?
yeah.
Okay. Yin Yang.
Don't die, DM. That's his job.
I believe he can hide as a bonus action. Nimble Escape says you can take a disengage or a hide action as a bonus action on each of your.
For the goblins?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, go ahead and roll that stealth check.
Oh. I'm not gonna look a gift horse them out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know.
I played a goblin.
Hey, you're a stealthy goblin.
Next time.
Okay. All right.
Seeing how the group has the wizard lady, I'm just gonna go for the druid.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try to thrust out with my staff and try to hit the hilt of one of the daggers and try to shove it in deeper. Flavor's sake. I don't think a 13 hits.
A 13 is not going to hit as you lash out at this Spore Druid.
And I'm gonna kick him in the nads.
Okay. The kick to the nads is going to connect. As you lash out with the front foot kick, you see him just kind of, as his eyes kind of cross a little bit. Even maniacal evil druid still does not like the kick to the junk.
These days, we're gonna fight an enemy who's wearing a crotch plate, and we're not gonna be able to do anything against them.
You guys will have no offensive maneuvers left whatsoever.
Well, Yin's kind of just fighting frustrated at the moment. This is more just like, I want to get you back for earlier. I'm not trying to be as finessed as I was usually. So just, yeah, front kick.
I like it. And he does not have his reaction back yet, so you're going to get away with that, sir.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Brasnic. So disappointed that that Crown of Madness didn't work.
Enjoy it.
How can I be affected by madness? I'm already mad.
I wanted to maul you guys with a Ratul.
I was almost hoping that when he saved it, it would give him like flavorfully a rage, like a semi-rage for like a half round or something.
Yeah.
You, go ahead and take an inspiration, Ratul. You get a free 1d6 inspiration die.
Ooh, now that's something I can work with.
Does 18 hit the druid?
An 18 is going to hit that druid. Why don't you get off of him and leave him alone? He's a nice druid.
Cut out the last part.
He's a nice druid, and he's never done anything to hurt you in any way.
Mm-hmm.
He hit me? No!
4 points.
8 points. Because Yin Yang is within.
Oh,
I am also within 5 feet.
I know.
you guys need to calm down on this druid.
Ever! Kill it quickly!
There's another dagger.
He's got to go.
Kill it with fire!
It's another dagger launches in, slams into the druid's shoulder. Kind of rocks back from the blow a little bit. You got another one of those, or are you out of daggers yet?
I've got 2 more left, but I can only pull 1 dagger per turn, so I can only throw 1.
Okay.
And then opener on the wall, and cunning action, try and hide.
Okay, go ahead.
And that lovely D4 to the tree.
It's true.
19.
Okay, that is a solid hide, sir. Okay. Grybek.
Alright, finally, I'm gonna get into combat. I'm gonna walk down to the paladin and hit the paladin with my warhammer. He's not gonna come to me, I'm gonna come.
I mean, get at it, son. Oh, shit.
Oh shit!
I thought you said you didn't hack me.
There's
Nice
a Brasnic
job.
crit.
Did I accidentally hack
That's a
you?
great crit.
Oh wait, I got the wrong character open here.
See what happens when we push the limits? We step up to the plate.
You guys are doing really well here. I was a little worried about you, but you're coming at this bad boy. All right, so let's see.
It definitely helps that we restricted their movement by putting their backs to the tree.
It's true.
They refuse to move.
That's because we're destroying the tree that they, I'm pretty sure, need.
Yeah, Yin figured out fire was his best friend the moment everything cowered away from the twig blades, cowered away from him with the fire. So he's like, okay, noted.
Okay. Well, that is quite a hit, sir, and there is 0 that he can do about it. So you did a 13 points of damage.
Yep.
So as you come over, you just slam into his shield, and he actually does kind of try to block a little bit, But you'd slam into it so hard with your warhammer that you just hear this loud crack, and then followed by a couple of smaller cracks, and you see his arm actually kind of like go down a little bit, and you can tell just from your years in battle that you instantly shattered his hand and part of his forearm.
Nice. Now I'm gonna say, now are you going to attack me?
You definitely have his attention. Is that the end?
And that's my turn.
Okay, good job, man. So, Belak is definitely seeing the turn of this situation. And not liking this at all. Okay. So, oh boy. Let's do one of these. So you see him stand up, and he like raises his arms up into the air, and he starts chanting in Druidic. In Alardro, you understand that he's pleading to the skies, pleading to the heavens, and calling forth a freezing rain. And you see the wind start to pick up, and instantly you see this cylinder of freezing rain and sleet start falling all around you guys. So, it's going
Everything
to
just became.
What's up? So it's not going to affect anyone, I guess, until you start your turn there.
Well, there's also the fact that now it's really hard to see anything.
It is going to be very hard to see anything, and you're going to have to make dexterity saving throws on the start of your turns. So it doesn't. I don't know if that's going to affect you guys right away, though.
What it does is heavily obscured. It gives them pretty much full or 3/4 cover. Any flames in the area are doused, and the area is difficult terrain. If they move in the area, they have to make a dexterity save or fall.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if entering the spell's area counts right now for each one of you.
It's at the start of the turn. Otherwise, if you're already in the area. So we will have to do it at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not going to affect you guys in that regard for the dexterity save until the beginning of your turn.
As soon as it becomes their turn, if they're within the radius, then they have to make the dex save.
Exactly. Okay, so, yeah.
Where's the spell's area effect, though? Is it just, like, centered on him?
That is a fine question. So what we are going to do is... Let's see what I have here, because I have a bunch of stuff.
That's a very large area of effect.
What does it say, 40 feet?
It's 40-foot radius, so 80-foot diameter.
The tree's gonna be doused.
Nice, for him, because obviously those fires going to go out.
Him doing that was actually a pretty good move.
I can't see shit.
So that is the radius of the spell there. And I'm going to go ahead and move that to the map layer.
Jesus.
Oh, where did it go?
You didn't delete it, did you?
Oh no, it's still there. You guys see it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic, that's all.
What did I just move to the map layer? I just moved something to the map layer, but I'm not sure what it was. Okay, so that is where the ice storm is, or the sleet storm. The fire does go out on the tree, and you guys are in a very treacherous footing position, and pretty much everything is heavily obscured. So there's that. And then Sir Bradford goes. And he actually kind of, after you smash at his hand, you know, he's still holding onto his shield, and it seems like he's still kind of able to make use of it, but that was definitely a very telling blow against him. Something like that, again, would you feel like maybe you might be able to, you know, disable the use of that shield. Just as an aside. So, but you see him actually kind of like start to mutter underneath his breath.
I mean, he still has to make a dex saving throw because he's within the area.
Yeah, you're right. You are right about that. So. What is that DC? It is much higher than that. Okay. So he actually does fall prone. So he uses half of his movement to get back up. As he's doing so, he starts cursing under his breath. But as he looks up at you, Grybek, he seems to kind of utter a special curse, and that's a vow of enmity against you. And he's going to use a channel divinity for that. So he is going to get advantage on attack rolls against you.
It's actually a straight roll because he's technically suffering from the blind condition in the heavily obscured area.
Right. Except for that. And then he is going to Okay. He is actually just going to take a swing at you, I think. And he is.
Oh.
And you actually see him, after you hit him with your warhammer, you see him kind of like look, you know, after he utters this vow against you, he actually attacks your hammer as you're holding it there in kind of a defensive position. And as he hits the hammer, you see this flash of magic coming from his sword. So, there's this.
So is it the Hunter's Mark plus the 12?
The vow of enmity gives him advantage on attack rolls against you, but as Yin Yang said...
No. So the first roll says Hunter's Mark is 2 plus 1, and then the 7 plus 5.
Yeah, where'd the Hunter's Mark come from?
Oh. No, that should not have been selected.
It doesn't even matter. The 12 damage, I'm down.
Well, he actually doesn't hit you. He hits your warhammer. And when he hits your hammer, you see this arc of magic, this flash of magic that emanates from his sword. And it actually completely, like you hear this loud cracking noise. And your warhammer like splits right down the middle, and then all of a sudden the whole warhead just crazes over with cracks and then just explodes into pieces.
Oh, no. Alright, so I am weaponless.
So, that just happened.
I mean, lucky break, he went for the hammer instead of you.
I don't know, a dwarf and his weapon are, best friend.
And chances are, since you are a forge cleric, that is actually a weapon that you designed and made yourself.
That is true.
So going on what was supposed to be 8. Gok,
Yeah,
you were sitting over here behind this wall.
I was.
And
I saw.
you roll a perception check.
Okay.
Okay. You suddenly hear this loud kind of a noise, and you look up and you see this enormous frog near the top, like sticking to the side of this wall, kind of like looking down at you and cocking its head to the side a little bit. And as it emits this loud noise, it suddenly lashes out at you.
I thought you were gonna say.
Gok's gonna get eaten by a giant frog.
Yeah, seriously. I get eaten by a frog. Okay.
Okay, so its tongue like lashes out at you as it tries to bite you. It doesn't quite make purchase at you, on you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's a bit,
But it
This
does,
is real dangerous.
It does look hungry, and you're just the right size for it to eat.
yeah, it's a giant frog. I'm just glad I didn't summon like 5 other frogs or something, because that would really suck. Oh god. Okay.
I think the worst part is nobody knows you're over there. Oh no, wait, Brasnic can see you.
Yeah, Brasnic's here. But everybody else is fighting the other dudes. And now we have a frog.
Okay, so Dex save.
Okay. Not quite enough. As you fall prone, you feel yourself slipping on the ice in your giant bear form.
I'm gonna use half my movement to stand up.
Okay.
Now it's heavily obscured, but because I have the keen sensibility or keen smell, and I have advantage on wisdom. I have advantage on wisdom checks that rely on smell, or perception checks. Can I smell where Belak is?
I'm trying to remember how smell works in the cold. I think the cold does help to nullify some smell, but I mean, even hunting wolf packs still are able to track by smell even in winter. Let's say, I think that's good. Sure. Let's go ahead and say that you can smell them well enough that you don't have disadvantage.
So I will just swing at Belak.
Okay.
With that big old bite.
Okay. You do bite at him again, but what's his face has his reaction back. You see that the paladin again tries to interpose himself, somehow managing to fight the dwarf and still protect the druid at the same time. Go ahead and roll that bite attack again.
I got a 10.
17 is still going to hit, I think. 17 does hit. So you do even more damage. God damn it. All right, so you definitely bite down. He tries to block it with his shield, but it actually enables you to kind of force your head in to get an even deeper bite than you were before. You see Belak kind of scream out in pain as your jaws close down around him.
And then I'll go in for the slash with my claw while he's disoriented.
Okay. He's just a little bit too close to you. Just the way his body is positioned, you're just not quite able to find purchase with the claws.
And I'm gonna. That's it. I'm just gonna growl very loudly and like. No. Can I like sense that if he's like, how much blood is coming off of him? Because I'm sure he smells a lot like blood.
Yeah, roll a nature check. You are just kind of lost in your rage and your fury at this evil druid, and the fact that he's twisted nature so much in his cause to get revenge on dragonkind, mingled with the blood of the others here, the slightly unknown smell of the blood coming from the paladin and the wizard. Just kind of throws it off a little bit, so you're just kind of unable to get an idea of how hurt this druid is.
Okay, I had my turn.
Okay.
Did he make a con saving throw for when I hit him?
He definitely needs to. It's going to be good enough. That'll do, Timbers. Okay, so speaking of Erky Timbers, feeling emboldened by his last attack against the wizard, he's going to attack her again. And as he lashes out with his mace, you see her suddenly whip her hand out, and it seems like she kind of extends two fingers as she waves her hand towards him, and suddenly this shining magical force seems to erupt around her as it forces the mace away from connecting with her. Timbers is going to stand his ground next to the big giant Ratul, the Red Earth.
Am I close enough so I don't have to worry about the disadvantage on trying to punch the mage, or?
You still have to make a dex saving throw at the start of your turn.
Oh, great. Fair point.
This part is true. No problem. You kind of like just stand your ground. You're so solid in your strength and your mass and size that it seems like the ice is just not even a hindrance to you at this time.
Yeah, no, I just basically stomp my feet through the ice to plant myself into the ground.
And what were you saying about disadvantage?
Basically, am I close enough to the mage that the heavy sleet storm that's going on around me does that still impose disadvantage on trying to hit her, or am I close enough so it doesn't matter?
No, it'd still kind of, shift her form enough to make it harder to hit her.
You're essentially suffering from a one-sided blind condition. Rather than they have an advantage on you, everyone just has disadvantage on attack.
Alright then, just making sure. Alright then, 2 punches at disadvantage.
And that's it for me, as I basically punch through the ice and snow and try to hit her, and no go.
Yeah, just the shadows that it's causing, the ghost images almost, just seem to throw off your attacks just enough. So it is her turn. She gets her reaction back. And
She's got to do a dex saving throw. Just
she has to make a dex save. This spell does not choose sides. Oof. So she actually is, after she casts her shield spell, it just, even the wave of her hand, she takes a small step to catch her balance, and that's enough to slip on the ice as she falls prone to the ground. That is not ladylike. She is upset at you. From the ground, as she's kind of standing up, you hear this. As she starts laughing in almost this weird maniacal laughter, Ratul, she looks up at you and suddenly you feel yourself. As she
Hideous
casts
laughter, isn't it?
hideous laughter on you.
Let's see here. The save is it wisdom or charisma?
Wisdom, sir, your favorite stat.
And DC 14 still, I believe.
is your intelligence 4 or less?
No.
No.
Oh,
Well, excuse you.
Assuming.
I'm joking.
That's racist.
Man,
Most orcs have like an intelligence of at least 6. So
Damn.
wow.
Again. You feel the laughter starting to overwhelm you, and you have the thought, like, why am I laughing? There's nothing funny ever happened to me. As you are able to kind of couch yourself in your anger as you bite down on the laughter and kind of cough it off and look up at her, furious at her attempts to manipulate your mind. Damn, dude. Would you stop passing everything?
Okay. First off,
How am I supposed to party wipe if you guys are doing so well?
it's like, how am I supposed to kill you all?
take it,
Candy?
bro, damn it.
I'll tell him how. Get on my level, bro.
Oh.
Yeah. Had to say it.
I'm gonna take my time to use my bonus action to disengage from this toad. It's kind of surprising.
Are you within the ice?
Yeah.
No. Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm like, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Just at the edge
So
of
I need
it.
to take a dex check. Dexterity.
A dexterity save, sir.
Okay.
Let's see if you become a tasty snack. That is not going to be quite enough. So, as this the frog does kind of jump out at you and try to eat you, you kind of like "Rah!" and you jump backwards, and as you do so, your footing slips out. You try to keep it, but you do like that running, can't move anywhere, but you're still running thing, and then you fall backwards prone.
So that Looney Tunes thing, it's running in place.
Yeah,
Nice.
you're like trying to backpedal, but you're not actually moving.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, I'll use half my movement to get up. Still gotta disengage from this frog. Oh. I guess there? This is as far as I can go. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the frog for making me look like an idiot. Because, even though Brasnic was possibly the only one to see it, it's still kind of just like, everybody's fighting these plant zombies and a druid, and I'm stuck fighting a fucking fucking giant toad. Like, what are the odds of, statistically of this happening? Anyway.
Well, I mean, quite high if it saw you, because you're the morsel size.
You're the only one small enough for it to eat.
Does 11 hit the toad?
Does 11 hit the frog, he asks.
Okay, thank God.
11 does hit the frog, my friend. Go ahead and roll that damage. So you do 11 points of damage against this frog.
Does that kill the frog?
As you blast,
Yes,
the purple energy lashes out as it slams against this frog. You see it kind of like jammed up against the wall. As it kind of like comes back to his feet as you dissipate the energy. You can see that it definitely seems to have hurt the creature really badly, but it is not quite dead yet.
Just gonna warn Brasnic. Wait a minute. Actually, I just realized. Did you roll for the toad at all, Indigo?
For what?
For, I guess, hostile.
No, I have to do that on his first turn, which would be next round. Because
Well,
he went at the same time Belak was casting.
God. I'm just gonna tell Brasnic, watch out for a giant toad, it's not dead yet. That's gonna be over here. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. That means we are at the monk.
How's the druid looking?
Roll a perception check.
Remember, you also have to do a dex save, and it's heavily obscured.
Oh, true enough. So I probably can't tell. So I'm not even going to. Not even do the perception check, but dex check.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, just fine.
You easily are able to keep your footing in the snow.
You have to do better than that. Pop, pop. So disadvantage, right?
Yes.
14.
14 is not enough to hit. 16
16.
is enough to hit. Now-
Punch him right in the jaw.
Okay. So, what do we have here?
What's happening? I'm not hearing your mic. Sorry.
No, I wasn't talking. So, you feel as your bow staff swings out, kind of swings over the druid's head as you follow it up with this swift strike. You feel your hand connect with his face. As it does so, he kind of like spins around in the air towards the tree. You see him kind of like go up against the tree and like hit against it with a loud thud. And you see him slowly start to slide down the tree as he passes out unconscious.
So the spell drops.
So, the spell drops. Suddenly, the ice disappears, the snow disappears, it all instantly melts back into the ground around you.
Kind of just looks at him and says, "Yeah!" at the ground. Are the other two things still standing or looking like they're willing to fight, or when he dropped, they...
They seem to both grow very angry and turn towards you with redoubled effort.
Great job, you pissed them off.
Brasnic,
So the swirling cloud of snow is gone now?
it is gone. Suddenly, and all of this ice and the coldness that sprang up out of nowhere suddenly just disappears just as quickly as it came. And you see this giant yellow frog in front of you.
How high up is he, or is he now on the ground?
What?
He was on the wall before, so is he on the ground now?
Yeah, he jumped down to attack Gok.
Okay. And have I stayed inconspicuous this entire time, or do I think the toad knows them?
He doesn't. He hasn't noticed you. He had his sights fixed on his next snack. His next meal.
Well, since Gok has his uses, and he seems to be doing better with his spells, I guess I'll go ahead and help him out. Go ahead and sneak right next to the toad and pull out the short sword and give it a stab.
Thank you, Brasnic.
And this sound is still hidden?
Did you roll the attack?
Oh, I'm asking, am I still hidden?
Oh yeah, you're hidden. You're fine.
Advantage!
Advantage. So your short sword is broken.
Oh, damn it. Just be messed up. Yeah, so 22 probably hits, right?
It does. What's your to hit with your dagger though? Your short sword is broken.
Oh, that's right, my short sword is broken. I forgot about that. It's the same for the dagger to hit my...
Okay, so a 22 is going to hit, but roll dagger damage if you can. Question mark.
Yeah, all right. Just 1d4 plus 3, and then sneak attack because I...
Okay. If you want to just roll a dagger attack and take the damage from that, you can do that, so it's easy.
There you go. Total of 8 piercing.
Okay. So you see this thing after it had taken the furious magical burst from the goblin. See it kind of like gathering itself, and you see it kind of like hunching its legs like it's about to spring at the goblin. As you suddenly come out of nowhere and you stab out downwards towards the creature, you manage to get it right behind the back of its eyes, and you see it kind of and then just fall over dead.
Would you say it croaked?
Oh.
Go sit in the corner and think about what you just did.
Oh wow, nice.
Take 1d4 psychic damage for that joke.
Were you waiting for that moment?
No.
He was.
Okay.
He was. He was sitting over there just waiting for that frog to die.
I was thinking a frog pun.
This is the ultimate dad frog joke.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna move back here so I can sort of peek around the corner so I can see the battle that's happening. And in my turn.
Okay. Grybek.
Alright, quick question. My shield would just be an improvised weapon, right?
It could be an improvised weapon, yeah.
Alright. Then I'm gonna slam my shield into the paladin.
Okay.
So that's just a D20 plus my
Strength.
strength?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nope.
Not quite enough. He is able to kind of interpose his shield in between the two of yours and with a little grunt of pain. But he is able to block the attack.
Alright, as a bonus action, I'm gonna shed one single tear.
Okay. For the loss of your hammer.
Tears.
And that's my turn.
All right. All right. So, Sir Bradford, looking behind him, seeing his boss laid low, he crouches down and touches his boss's foot.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
And you see the druid open his eyes as he's laying up against the tree. He kind of like lowers his head for a moment and raises it back up. It feels so good.
Seeing as my druidic enemy or nemesis has arisen, I'm going to attempt to bite his neck and try and just like crush his windpipe.
Okay.
Okay.
Oof.
Oh no! Oh no! No! No!
All right. So,
Ratour the Wizard.
Interesting.
He bites his own claws. He tries to swipe.
You could have me do that.
So you lunge in at Belak, and somehow the smell of the disease, the rotting of his arm, the spores coming off of him, just somehow like assaults your nose in a way that just hadn't struck you up until being this close to him and being in the presence of that sickly arm. It actually kind of like just strikes your heightened senses in a way that kind of makes you flinch away from him. But the momentum and the weight of your body kind of like falls forward on top of him. So you won't be able to get your second attack in, and the weight of your mass is now on top of him, effectively giving him full cover.
But he's also prone.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh right, he's prone. You'd have advantage.
wait, I would have advantage.
But you lost your other attack.
No, I
That'd
have
be part of that attack.
attack.
But that was such a good description.
It truly was.
Well, if it hits, that could still happen. I just land on him, and I'll do bludgeoning damage for having a bear on top of you.
Roll the second attack.
Sorry, it's a different. There we go.
Okay. So we'll just redact that, I guess. So you do try to bite at him, but that is going to miss him. So,
Will I get the second attack or not?
yeah, go ahead. With advantage.
So, having that terrible smell on my nose, I'll reach out with my claw and swing.
Okay. So you swing out with your claws, and again, you kind of slash open his whole torso, and you see bright red blood just kind of spurt out in an arc across both of these enthralled human minions here. And you see him, he just kind of like lays back against the tree, and he just as he coughs out, you see a great gout of blood bubble like pop in his mouth as he slowly closes his eyes.
I'm going. Because he's down, can I pick him up using my bonus action? Like grab him with my teeth and try and lift him?
Aren't your claws your bonus action?
No, I have multi-attack. The bear is translating one, so it gets up. Just has multi-attack.
Grappling's usually an action.
Okay, no worries. I was just saying if you could try that.
I would say you could start to try and drag him, but I'm not going to let you move him this round. It would have to be next round.
Okay, so I'll just like, because it's not an active thing. I wouldn't have to grapple it. That's why I was trying to figure, because it's a body at this point.
Yeah, you basically like bite at his ankle and start dragging him away.
Okay, so I'm gonna try. Can I move like half movement or 0 movement?
No movement this round.
Okay, so I'm holding on to his foot though.
Yeah. Okay.
All I'm gonna do.
Oh, sorry. Was that the end of your turn, sir?
Oh yeah, I was just saying that was all I was gonna do.
Okay. So. Well, this is interesting. Urki is going to again. Well, seeing that his attacks against the mage are just not seeming to actually work, he is going to run over here. Which does not draw an opportunity attack from Sharwin. And he is going to try and back up his fellow cleric and attack the paladin. Oof. Sadly, his attacks are not as fierce as the dwarves. After he swings at the paladin kind of ineffectively, he just kind of looks at the mace for a second and then looks over at Grybek. He says, "You use it," and he kind of tosses it to you. Go ahead and roll a dexterity check to catch it.
Okay.
Oof. So, not really expecting the maneuver. It hits you in the chest and falls on the ground at your feet. And he kind of looks at the mace and then looks up at you, looks down at the mace again. Says, oh dear.
Yeah, you can keep your little mace. I'll use my hand axe, I guess.
Well, it is there at your feet. So, Ratul.
Let's see if we can change things. And I am tired of your damn magics.
As I'm going to take 2 swings at the maid.
Okay. Oh man.
Screw it, I'm going to use the D6 for this.
Okay.
14.
Okay. As you swing out at her with your first chain-covered fist, you see her again, turning towards you. She kind of waves her 2 fingers in your direction, and you see the shield magic again erupt around her as your attack seems to connect with this magical energy, and it is forced aside.
How about now?
He's like, fuck this. How about now, motherfucker? So barely, as you swing out again, you feel like just the rage driving this punch forward, and it like plows through this defensive magic, but somehow it's just barely enough to stop your fist from connecting, as you feel it just barely and be enough to push your fist away from connecting.
Damn, she's got 21 AC with.
Yeah, I was about to
Shield?
say, really?
With shield on.
Whew, she's a hefty, strong defensive wizard.
Well, that's all I can do then.
Okay.
All you need. Oh no, never mind. You need to. I was gonna say, all you need is an armor and shield, and armor and like high dex, but they can't get.
No.
They have mage armor though.
True.
And other things. So.
That's it for me.
Okay. And as you furiously attack the mage, she again looks at the giant orc with anger.
She is adamant about getting him.
Does she have any spell slots left?
She does. Her first attack was the entangle, was with the wand.
Which is also, I mean, she's a. I mean, I guess that's 4 first. 4. Okay, she probably still does.
She's 2 shields. And the hideous laughter. So. Interesting. She kind of looks at you, and she just kind of mutters, and you can see it's almost like a emotionless wooden kind of a tone that she uses. And she just says, "You won't dodge this." As you see these little magic motes kind of leap out from her hand, and it flies out and strikes you for 4 points of damage.
No, there's 3 darts.
Why did I thought it rolled all of them?
Nope.
So 9 points of damage total. Okay.
But I'm still standing.
He is still standing. Gok.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to where I was earlier. Just a little peephole right here. Okay. Let's try to shoot this guy.
Okay.
Unless with my, wait, actually, no, I'll use my Eldritch Blast, and hopefully it hits this time.
Nice!
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Get a
All right.
chance to death.
So as you finally lash out and you blast him with your Eldritch magic.
Yeah.
Can he do anything about this is the question. I don't know. Can he?
Yeah, can
He cannot. And he gets blasted real hard. So you hear him kind of yell out. Actually, he doesn't yell out in pain. Yeah, the blast hits him, and you see him kind of like, he physically shudders from the blow of it, and you see him just kind of right himself. And he actually doesn't even seem to react as far as any kind of pain or anger, any kind of emotional reaction to it.
Okay, but he's still up and at him. Okay. I guess I'm going to hide as my bonus action.
Okay.
Maybe move closer to Brasnic.
Be wary of frogs.
I mean, if there's another frog that pops up, I'll have Brasnic to protect me this time.
Brasnic protected you last time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, protect me from even getting hit from the frog in the first place. So, anyway.
I really wanted you to get eaten. I'm a little sad about that.
Okay.
Okay, so you feel very stealthy.
Yeah, I feel pretty stealthy. I felt like, I did my job. Yeah. I hit that guy. It's pretty good. Just the end of my turn.
So Brasnic, as you're effectively hiding over here amongst the rubble, you see Gok kind of come up trying to be stealthy, but self-talking loudly enough to be heard at least 25 feet away.
Just shake my head at his attempt.
You're not supposed to self-talk when you're hiding, Gok.
Hey man, every good villain monologues said that or something.
You're right about that. Yin Yang.
Okay, so to clarify, the druid is prone and not really occupying the space he's in at the moment, right?
He's there, yeah. But he does seem to be unconscious and starting to be drug off by the giant bear.
So I couldn't step into his space with him there?
Yeah, you could
With him
step
being
over him.
prone?
If he's prone, you could stand over him, sure.
And I'm gonna go ahead and tear into our little paladin buddy here. Try to hit him in the back of the skull with the staff and then follow with a roundhouse.
Go for it. Nobody wants to attack that mage when she's got her shield spell on. That's mean.
I don't think 15 is up. Or is enough to hit him.
15 is not going to hit the paladin.
Woo!
20.
Do you have advantage?
Yeah, because Grybek's on the other side of him.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's definitely going to hit.
9.
All right, so the bow staff does kind of a glance off of his shoulder plate as he's turning around to kind of side face you and the gnome and the dwarf. You just catch him right in the cheek with this straight right. And you see him just kind of rock his head, and he just immediately kind of like, you know, his head kind of dances a little bit, but then he just like woodenly looks back towards at you with the look of menace.
Don't worry, my friend. We'll put you to rest soon. And that's my turn.
Brasnic, you feel confetti land on your shoulder.
Damn it!
Look, I was very happy. Okay, set.
I'm gonna go ahead and run out some within range. And once again, this time I'm hucking the broken short sword because it might as well be a dagger and another dagger. Dagger.
Is that your last dagger?
I got one more dagger after I throw these two. Because one's technically a broken short sword and one's an actual dagger.
All right, roll the short sword with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Roll
Oh no, Grybek.
roll the damage on that.
Roll low.
Grybek.
One from the low.
Grybek, you feel a sword enter into your side as you're standing there facing the paladin, and you look down and see the dwarf's blade sticking out from your side. 5 points.
Thanks,
of
Art.
damage.
Thanks, dwarf, but I have a weapon.
You take 5 points of damage.
And then here's the other dagger. The actual dagger.
Please don't hit me again.
That is going to be a miss, sir.
Now I'm down to one single dagger.
All right. If you throw that, you're going to be out of weapons.
You could just run up behind Grybek and stab him in the back.
You could just stab Grybek.
Wow, kill a party member. Gotcha.
I mean, it's basically what you just did.
You just did that.
No! I mean,
That was an accident.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
I mean-
how I accidentally shot
You guys,
Grybek.
since we're in voice chat, you didn't see the air quotes when you said accident.
Yeah.
How dare you? That was. He's the other dwarf. He's the least likely one I'm going to kill.
There can only be one dwarf.
In a party with an orc and a goblin, and he stabs the other dwarf. Okay.
That's
You guys are impossible. I'm gonna blame Gok and his confetti.
It's only the third.
Are you saying I'm rubbing off on you, Brasnic?
I'm saying your confetti got into my eye when I threw my dagger and it hit Grybek, so I'm blaming you.
That's exactly what happened.
No, just arguing semantics.
But yeah, that's all I can do.
I wish I would have thought of that because that would have been way funnier. All right.
Confetti messed up the aim.
Grybek. That hurt.
Alright. That did hurt. It hurt a lot. I'm gonna grab the hand axe off my belt that I forgot I even had last turn, which I would have used other than the shield, but hey. And I'm going to slash at the paladin.
Okay.
With advantage, right? Because he's on the other side of him?
Yep. 21 is definitely going to hit. For 7 points of damage. Man, you guys are doing work. I mean, did you want to win?
I would hope.
That's the idea. Nobody wanted to die.
TPK would have been interesting.
It's not going to happen at this point. All right, so you definitely lash out as your hand axe. He tries to block it, but you're able to slip past his shield, and it sinks right into his chest. And you hear just like a kind of a grunt from him, but other than that, he doesn't seem to react.
Alright, bonus action, I'm gonna spit at him.
Okay. Roll a dexterity check.
Oh,
I
you got a 1.
You spit on Yin Yang.
Oh, come on. Now I gotta at least make a dex check for that. I see him do it.
All right, go ahead. It's like, wait a minute. The fuck?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I kind of look at Grybek. I just put my arms up. What? The... Really?
Bro.
It was the other dwarf.
Oh, man.
I was looking right at you.
Okay.
Alright, that's it for me.
Belak lays there. Sir Bradford, on the other hand, mindlessly and woodenly follows his dogmatic commands. And you see him reach down and touch the druid.
Is he still grappled?
He is.
Perfect.
Come back to life in a bear's mouth.
But you see him open his eyes again. How many times? How many times? Death comes for us all.
Kind of just look down between my legs. Oh, don't worry. I got something for you.
I am gonna pull him away.
Okay, roll a strength check.
He's okay. I assume because he was already grappled. Let me move back.
Yeah.
Okay, I move half movement, so 5, 10, 20. So he comes with me. He'll be right here. He's still prone, so I'm gonna bite him.
Okay. So you do that 5 points of damage.
Okay. Oh, I have advantage. Sorry. No. I know that was what happened there. I just and then I'll swipe him.
And he's back to sleep.
And he is out.
I mean, he's got to be hurting. He's been, like, slashed, beaten, punched, come back to life 3 times in a row.
Twice. It's only moderate to severe brain hemorrhaging.
Okay.
Surprised he can still laugh after I fractured his jaw.
You see him laying there after you kind of slice at him with the claw attack. And again, as more bright red stripes of blood open up across his chest, you see him fall backwards. And as his body slumps against the ground, you see this blackness about his skin. You see this blackness rapidly start to grow in like these veiny streaks, and you realize that this dragon mark seems to be almost pulsating on his arm, and you see all of this blackness spread out across his form. And as it does so, you see his eyes open up again really wide, and you just hear this loud and as he exhales, you see his body wither and fade and crumple in on itself and turns into this black, powdery-like substance as he finally crumples into the ground, a black stain upon the earth. You have defeated Belak the Outcast.
I'm gonna roar victoriously.
Okay, as Alardro stands up on his hind legs and yells out this enormous, loud, ferocious, bear roar from the depths of himself, lands down on the ground with a loud
And that was my turn.
Okay. You see Erky kind of looking over and seeing this. He says, "Justice is done this day." As he reaches down and he grabs his mace off of the ground, trying to be brave next to his dwarven cleric companion. You see him swing at the paladin.
And then kill Grybek.
And kills the dwarf.
Yeah. And accidentally kills.
Quote, unquote.
He commits seppuku.
As you see him again, he slams into the paladin. And you see the paladin again tries to interpose his shield against the attack. But this time, as the mace connects, you hear another loud crack from his already broken arm. And you see this time the shield actually hangs limply down, and it looks like a wrist would bend, but it's about halfway up the forearm as you see his arm just limply hanging from the flesh alone. And from behind you, you suddenly hear this loud and then you hear this enormous kind of a noise.
What was that?
Fire!
Going home.
None of you can see what's going on.
What direction did it sound like it was coming from?
This way.
Oh, where the fire was.
I told you it was fire.
It's true. So,
I forgot about that giant fire behind us.
But I don't recall a creature being there.
Yeah.
it's true. 1 second. Oh no, what did I do with him? There he is.
Is he what you put on the map there earlier?
What? I have no idea what you mean. Okay.
Move something to the map layer that you didn't remember or couldn't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was Erky's turn. Retool the Red Earth. This
Well,
mage
let's see
is-
here. I have flanking, so I get to punch with advantage against this mage friendly.
You do.
And he's not happy about those magic missiles.
And she's all out of shield spells.
She can always upcast it if she has the slots.
Hmm?
You can always upcast it. You just don't get any bonuses for it.
Okay,
Okay.
that's a failed. Now, bonus action punch.
That is going to hit. And as you see her, oh wait, it's not her attack yet, so she still has the armor class. So again, you feel like your hit is a solid strike, and as it goes in, you feel the magic again just barely be enough to force your fist aside from making connection.
Whoa, no. Shield drops on her turn.
It's not
If
her
she
turn
didn't
yet.
cast shield again as reaction.
I know, it's not her turn yet.
But when he attacked her before, she had used the shield, and then it came to her turn, so then the shield dropped.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So she's not at 21 armor class, I don't think.
Okay. You're right. Go ahead and roll that
Read
damage.
armor class. Oh, you should probably just been paying attention.
I honestly think she has mage armor up with at least a +3 dex, and then that brought her, because it's 13 plus dex, and then she used shield, is what I'm imagining where she would.
Go ahead and roll damage. It's enough to hit. Okay. So as your fist connects with her chest, she there you see this huge explosion of breath as she kind of staggers back a little bit, and you hear this like loud crack, as you can tell that her whole kind of rib cage just was cracked from the force of your blow. Her
What
entire
was
sternum.
that about not being able to dodge?
And that'll be my turn.
Okay. She kind of stands upright again. Again, not showing any kind of emotional response to the attack or your taunt. And let's see. That's not going to do anything. All right, well. And she used her reaction to cast the shield last time, so she does not have a reaction right now.
She had got it back on her turn.
Yeah, I mean, she has it back now, but she wouldn't have had it for that hit, so.
She would have had it for that hit.
Hmm?
She would have had it for that hit. She hasn't cast it. She didn't cast anything on that round. If she had another slot, she could have used shield.
It's alright, too late, I guess.
No, she doesn't have a reaction, though, because she used the shield to block his attack on the last round.
No, you get it back every time it gets to that creature's or player's turn, they get their reaction back. So it would have gone back to her turn, she would have had her reaction. That last time when he attacked, if she had a shield, she could have used it.
Yeah,
If you'd like for her to use it, you should, that's fine. You just because you have reaction a little off doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to use it properly.
All right. No, she just has her arcane deflection, and she actually doesn't use that. So everything is good. So it is her turn, and she just kind of looks at the giant orc in front of her, and you see her just kind of raise up the wand that's in her right arm, and she points it towards you. And you see this bolt of fire kind of leap out of her hand, focused by the wand, and strikes at you.
I think she has disadvantage because he's in melee.
For
I can melee range have disadvantage unless you have Warcaster.
Yeah, unless you have Warcaster, you're disadvantaged when they're right up on.
Nope.
Warcaster is such a ridiculous feat.
Yeah, that's not the one she took. So, let's roll that again.
Warcaster is just, I think it might be one of the most broken feet in the game, besides Lucky.
Yay, I saved Gotool.
Alright, so Ratul, you do not
No, it was just the rules of the game.
take that damage. As the firebolt sails past you. Sadly, she wasn't able to get the range on you, being so close to her.
I'm gonna just go back to that hole a little bit. Fire at the sky.
Okay.
My Eldritch Blast. 18.
That's a hit for sure.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna use Fury of the Small Ones, though.
Get furious.
I deal 5 damage, because it's for my level. 5 damage instead of 3.
All right. So as you are peering through the crack in this wall, you look over and you see the paladin looking injured. You know, for the first time, really. You blast out with your gobbly blah blah, and as you see it strike him in his chest, and he actually kind of falls backward and lands up against the tree. And you, as he like hits up against the tree, you see like the wooden texture of his skin almost start to amplify, and you see him like land up against the tree, and then suddenly he becomes tree-like himself and freezes in place in agony forever.
Just gonna go. Yes! Finally! I can get the recognition I deserve. And on that note, I'm gonna walk to where I was and hide again. Or attempt to hide. You know, whatever.
Do you see anything? Do you see anything because of that big old noise?
We wouldn't know if he did.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. I'm not.
Nope. Stealthy. Not stealthy. It's the first
Heck
one?
of a roll there.
Was it the 7?
It was
It's just-
I accidentally done it.
It's the 7. Okay. You again.
I think.
Again, you're feeling very stealthy over there.
Yeah.
All right. Yin Yang.
At this point, people can just tell the hole I was shooting at 'cause it's covered in confetti and glitter.
So I pretty much just watched the guy turn into a tree in front of me,
Yeah.
and he looks very pained by that. Kind of disturbed Gian a little bit. He was trying to put these people at peace, and he just looks like he's suffering.
Does his weapons turn to wood too? That magic sword looked really cool.
No, you see that it's just his physical flesh that becomes this way.
God.
But knowing that we have to wrap this up, I guess I'll go ahead and try to take out the wizard lady just so we can end this, because I'm tired. I want to rest.
Okay.
I came back from death a few times last game, so I'm a little wore out.
For sure. It's been a long journey getting to this battle, that is for sure. Go ahead and make those attacks on the mage. That's a hit.
Oh, and for whatever reason, now I'm getting a syntax error when I try to use my bow staff. So, I guess 2d8 plus whatever my modifier is.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could consider it as the dungeon gods just saying, no, we can't let you have this. Just activate the syntax.
Roll all that damage. So 17 on the first one and 6 on the second?
Yeah, I'm pretty much just trying to sweep her feet out from underneath her, and then I'm pretty much just gonna just do a quick, as she's falling, pretty much put my foot up underneath where she's gonna fall, so her neck just snaps over my foot.
Okay. So you like do a little sweep around with your staff and connect with their ankles and bring them up into the air. And as she's almost horizontal into the air, you just snap out with a swift kick. And as your foot connects, you see it actually kind of twist her head a little bit as she's in the air. And you hear a loud crack. And as she's falling to the ground, you see the woodenness start to overtake her flesh. And as she hits upon the ground, you see her whole face just kind of crack open with a tree-like snap. And you see it just kind of crumple in on itself as she lays on the ground.
Rest in peace. We have avenged you.
And that ends the final encounter with Belak the Outcast.
What about that noise we heard?
Well done, guys. Well done. I was very nervous about this fight going into it. Okay, so as this falls and you start to feel the peace around you, everybody roll perception checks.
What type of perception check is this?
Everybody but Gok. You're good.
It doesn't matter.
Gok's over here self-talking. Everybody else notices this. This is totally on point.
Everybody but the 17 plus Bagok.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I did okay.
So as this last villain falls, you suddenly again hear this loud roar, and suddenly you hear the beat of wings, large wings, and flying up and over the wall. Suddenly you see a little kobold riding a white dragon. As they come flying over the wall, you hear,
Oh my
Meepo is here! And as they land down, you see him jump off, and he's like looks around, looks to the left, he looks to the right, looking like he's ready for the fight. And then he kind of sees you guys standing amongst the fallen bad guys. He says, Meepo miss fight?
Yes.
Oh, man. Your timing is impeccable as always, Meepo. And I kind of just give a head nod to the dragon, because I remember our previous interaction.
You see Calcrix kind of sit back. Why does it say white dragon wormling? It's not a white dragon wormling, that's Calcrix. Come on now. Gotta give the dragon her due there. Alright, you see Calcrix kind of sit back in her haunch and kind of like looking at you guys, and actually looking at you guys with, you know, a little bit of pride. And kind of like, you know, side-eyes Meepo with a little bit of humor. She kind of sits back and just kind of sniffs at you guys. So, you guys kind of look around, seeing the fallen enemies, seeing this grove, and all of the carnage that you've had, all of the battles that you've had to fight through together to reach this point. What do you guys think?
Well, seeing,
Right.
I say it's time to loot.
Okay. So, that being said, I think this is a fantastic place to end this off for the night. We did start a little late, but we also ran a little late. I appreciate everybody for hanging out and sticking with us through the end of this fight. We will definitely get to the aftermath of this situation in the next episode, and possibly even backtrack a little bit and see what might be left to explore in here. We'll see how that plays out next week for sure. I appreciate everybody for being here, all of you guys for playing in the game and playing through this adventure. It's been a lot of fun. Can't wait to do this aftermath and get into the next little bit here. Everybody is going to be 3rd level when we start the next bit of this adventure.
But we
Are we taking a long rest now, or?
We'll talk about that once we get started up in the next bit. There is going to be just a small amount to do before we do that long rest, but that will definitely be very well deserved. So we will get into that. Let's actually wait to do the hit points and all of that kind of stuff until we convene again next week, and we'll just knock that out while we're there. So anyway, all of that being said, again, it's been a long night, and I'm sure these guys are ready to go relax. You guys did a really good job. I really was not sure at all how that was going to go, and you guys got through that much more impressively than I was hoping to dare for. So, daring to hope for.
Wait, did you actually change it at all, or did you actually leave it as it is?
Oh no, I beefed it up big time. That encounter, according to the story and all of that, the druid was not a spore druid. He was just kind of a standard druid. I turned him into a spore druid, and gave him the dragon mark, which gave him the extra ability. I gave some cool stuff to his 2 minions, so it was definitely I made them actual archetypes. So they're 3rd level. So it was definitely much tougher than the adventure called for. I beefed it up for you guys.
Well, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, are we still live, by the way?
We are still live. I am going to go ahead and end it on that note, and we can get into discussing the adventure off camera. But I appreciate everybody staying with us. I am having a lot of fun with this team and telling these stories. I'm glad all these characters made it through. I was a little nervous about that, so I made everybody backup character sheets just in case. But man, you guys really killed this final encounter, and I'm proud of you guys. So good job. On that note, I am going to go ahead and end it for the evening. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode of the Fireside Tales, and anybody that is watching, please come and see us again, because we are only beginning in with these characters and these adventures. We have another, I think, 6 adventures or 5 or 6 adventures after this one. So we are really just getting going with the fun here. So please come watch us again, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Have a great night, y'all.